What's up, my replay viewers? What's going on? Casey here. I hope you guys are well. Just taking a quick walk after having gone to the gym. So I'm just walking back. I got my flock of seagull hair going. It's pretty awful. Man, I gotta do something about that. Welcome, you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'm going to be doing a scope with, guess what? Only 20% battery life. Insanity. Diva Glam, how's it going? Good to see you. Yes. If you guys are new to my scope, if you're someone new to my scope, do me a favor. Put in the chat teach, and if you've been here before, put in the chat learning. That way, it helps me to know who's new, who's been here before. And also, if you are excited about this topic, yes, to your topic, no plan. Okay, so I'm excited about this topic. Anyone else super excited about this topic? Let me know. Because obviously this topic is all about if you are someone who has a product or service or any type of business that you're trying to launch instead of doing the 9-to-5 thing. How many of you guys how many of you have a full-time job and you're trying to launch a business around that full-time job? How many of you are doing that? Put in the chat. Put in the chat me, yeah, if you're doing that right here. Okay, cool. Right here. Good. I want to see how many people are still doing the 9-to-5 job, whether it's a high-paying job, whether it's not a high-paying job, and you're ready to move out of that. You're ready to move kind of into your own business, or maybe you are doing your business on the side and you're excited to go full-time whenever that happens. Cool. So this is so interesting. I mean, I know exactly where you guys are at because I was there too for a long time, kind of riding this fence between, saying, okay, this is what I'm gonna do for my life, but also I had to provide for my family. So it's a really difficult place to be, but I did mine last year. Congratulations. If you have moved away from the 9-to-5 job or working for somebody else and now doing your own thing, congratulations. For those who are not, don't worry. Kind of look at the journey of it. What I want to ask you guys is this. How many of you have attempted to launch a business and what were the results? I would love to find out. Anyone who launched a business, what were the results? And do me a favor, high paying but never enough money. I'm not money hungry but want freedom. I get it. I get that so much. I was doing a good paying 9-to-5 job, making $250,000 a year in real estate, and I just was not happy. So I moved out of that. But it takes some time to actually make that transition. How many of you have done a launch, and what were the results of it? And guys, if you feel like you want to share this, I don't know how the reception is because I'm using self-service, so the reception might be crappy. But how many of you have launched a business before? I'm launching on January. Okay, cool. Okay, nice. I can't wait to hear about it. I had no plans at all, made $10,000 in 3 months, hired a coach, and made 6 figures. I am sexy fit. Nicely done. Awesome. Yeah, sometimes, you know what? You sometimes have to just go for it, right? What was smart that you did is you hired a coach after a little while. I tried 2 years ago, and it was a slow process, and this year I was able to quit my job, but launching my second by January, hire a coach, people. Yeah, exactly. It was hard. A lot of money but it paid off. Yeah. Here's another question. For those of you who have done launches, have you put a lot of money into them? Oftentimes, where you're like, wow, you put a little faith into it. That's what I kind of look at when you kind of put investment in. It's almost like I'm just putting my faith into that this is going to work. How many of you done that? I know that from my own experience. And also be sure to share this. If you feel like this is a topic that is helpful for people, if you're looking to do any launching, be sure to share this with your friends and followers and fans. Obviously, I can see it because I can go back into full scope and I'm going to give you guys congratulations. Also, here's what I'm going to start doing. For those who are my most engaged people during my scopes, I just got about 100 books from Lewis Howes, The School of Greatness, and every scope I do, I think every scope I do, this is what my plan is. I'm going to give my most engaged person a free copy of the book. Okay, every single time, that's my plan. I may run out at some point, but that's my plan. So the ones who are, share the most and heart the most and comment the most and stay the longest, you guys are going to be getting the book. I've decided I'm going to do that because I bought it and my wife was like, Casey, what are you going to do with all these books now that you bought it? You should have just done it per one and sent them off. But I wanted Lewis to get, higher up on Amazon. So that's why I bought it. Okay, Scope, Facebook, email, Jesus, Mega, something. So yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When I first came out into the market, I created a product without really a plan of action. And luckily I stumbled and was able to find people that gave me a lot of good suggestions about how to do these things. My first thing was find partners, do webinars with partners, JV webinars every single week. So that was my first experience with doing any type of launch. I did weekly or bi-weekly webinars with anybody who would have me, essentially. And that first year being online, I did about $250,000 selling my products, which was a YouTube course with webinars. But that was my first experience. But did I have a list at the time? You know what? I had a very small list. I probably had a list of 1,000 people on my list, and I grew that list from, and remember, I mean, Periscope wasn't around, Facebook ads weren't around, so I was going and doing forum marketing. Okay, how does that work for fitness? Yeah, oh man, it depends on what you're doing for fitness. Are you selling nutritional goods or what? It depends on what you're doing. But definitely, because I see it doesn't work that way in fitness. I mean, I know people that do that are doing webinars when they're doing nutritional stuff, that they're selling bulk to other people. I know people in the health and wellness that are making a killing doing webinars. And that was really my experience with launching and selling. Webinars was the thing. But of course it was all about list building first. And my first experience with list building was going and doing forum marketing and all sorts of stuff. And it took me a while just to get 1,000 people. Yeah. But now, I'm obviously now with the beauty of Periscope and things like that, you can build a pretty decent list, in the first 3 or 4 weeks of, you did an online summit. That's brilliant. Yeah. When you did forum marketing, did you create an avatar to some traffic? Yes, I did. That's exactly what I did. And I gave value in the forums, and then that drove people. Also YouTube. YouTube was a big aspect of where I was getting my traffic from. But it took a long time. Where Periscope, obviously, with Periscope, I could do 20, 30 leads a day, and do 3 scopes a day. I mean, it's you see much more action through, I think, Periscope and Facebook ads. But I can say that launching nowadays is so much easier than launching before. YouTube is good, but it takes time. Exactly. My thing is, I'm trying to think of, if I'm a brand new business owner, and I kind of look at this like that, now that I know the things I know, and a podcast, podcast is this perfect way to do it. Now that I know the things I know, I kind of look at what is the fastest way I can get there, because now I'm able to I'm doing about 250 to sometimes 300 leads a day coming from all the different places that are out there. And, it's just once you start understanding and know how to do that, it starts to happen. So it's a really incredible process. So what I've realized, though, is that it's all about using these places like Periscope, like Facebook ads, like YouTube, but driving them to something. Yes, and this is what I was going to come to. I can tell you my absolute favorite strategy. Build a list with Periscope, send them to a webinar. That's my favorite thing. In fact, what I do is I oftentimes send people to my automated webinar. Okay, I send them to my. If you're looking to do an evergreen thing where you're ever doing a launch and it's just perpetual, I send people to an automated webinar. And an example of that, guys, if you want to check it out, you can go to caseyzeman.com/webinar. I think that's what it is. And you can come. It's an automated webinar. It's essentially a selling tool, but it also is a lead generation tool. Also, it is a know, like, and trust builder as well. Do you use for evergreen webinars? Yes. So that's the answer is yeah. But if you're going to do a launch, there's 3 launches. There is a launch where you're going to be doing, open the cart and close the cart, say after 2 weeks, right? You lead up to that point, like for 2 months before then, building your list, letting people know you're going to be doing a launch, providing value, building that know, like, and trust, getting that list, getting that early bird list up, and then boom, selling them into the window where you're now going to sell them. My favorite part of that is using webinars and live stream for that entire sales process, okay? More so than even the traditional level of using, say, a 4 video series, right? When I did our launch using I sold Easy Webinar, and I used Easy Webinar to do the launch. When I was doing launches, and some of you guys might know this, those live events did we made almost triple than what we did on the days where we didn't do live events. That's how well we did. On the days that we actually did live streaming, where we did live Q&As, we made triple the amount of just sending people directly to like one of the launch videos, right? So that's how I know it works. So that's one way to do it. The other way is the perpetual launch, where you create sort of your system where you make money every single day, perpetually. So what you're doing is you're creating an automated webinar, and you're selling your product on an automated webinar. You're building your leads, and the leads are going into a CRM system, okay? And you do that every single day. The other way is to do kind of these mini launches with joint ventures, joint venture affiliates, where maybe I work with you and we do one promotion for 1 week, right? I promote you or you promote me, and we do that in the course of like a 7-day period of time. So 3 or 4 days before the webinar, I start promoting you, and then the webinar we make money, and then probably 3 days after, 4 days after, we close you close the shopping cart or close the sale, and that's probably about a full week of promotion. I did that with David Siteman Garland. I've had people do that for me. David Siteman Garland, we did about 50K in sales when I promoted his webinar. And you could do that with every, with different joint venture partners and affiliates, people that are on your same level, the people that have a list. And some people always ask me, Casey, where do I find these people? Well, beautiful thing about it, if you are in Facebook groups, like our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/full-scope, there are a lot of authors, experts, coaches, consultants, people that are just like you. So you could very easily build relationships with those people, just crossing the street, and start doing webinars with them. You could use Easy Webinar to do the webinar. You could reach out to them and send a direct message via Periscope if you wanted to, which is awesome because you can send direct messages to people. They have to be following you, but you can do that. And it's a great way to use kind of all the elements of launching. So those are 3 elements of launching. And then the other thing I sometimes do is I do an early bird launch internally, and then I do an external joint venture launch. So first I'll do something like a beta launch to my own list, and the goal is 6 figures. And then after that, we do a larger launch with affiliates, and then the goal is a high 6 figures or 7 figures. And so that's kind of another 2 levels of it as well that might serve you. Because a lot of people, they don't look at that. They don't think